So to understand why right now is the best time to start making your own money, let's take it back to young Wynot. See, young Wynot was a person of inaction. A lot of the time he had many opportunities come up to him, but he was either too scared to take them or he managed to procrastinate his way several years into the future and never end up doing anything at all. Partially, he didn't value the fact that the only time he had was right now, and also because he had self-limiting factors, believing that actually he wasn't necessarily the person to have that role that he wanted. The truth is, there isn't a right person for any role. If you look at it, there's so many people right now who have become incredibly successful, for example, on YouTube or other platforms, any businesses, and honestly, what they're doing is just kind of shit, to be honest. But the reason why they've succeeded is just because they've become persistent. And to be persistent, you need to be actually doing something in the present. Because what a lot of people don't understand is that there is no future. There's just an ongoing present. You can't say, I'm going to do this in the future and give it to your future self. Your future self is just yourself in the present tense later on. Like, you're still going to feel the same impact. It's going to feel the same whether you do it now or in 10 minutes. So why not just do it straight away? See, before I didn't have any decisiveness, and this level of indecisiveness and sort of procrastination meant that even though I had so much ambition and sort of want to do certain things, it never came to fruition because I was just sort of thinking about, well, in all honesty, video games. I was too consumed by video games. I was too consumed by anything else other than my dream, which is the weird thing, isn't it? How many of us really are stopping ourselves from achieving what we really want to achieve and settling for something that's just sort of there, and it's just good enough. I mean, video games really wasn't going to get me anywhere I wanted to be, apart from maybe getting to an esports position, but I mean, I never really wanted that in the first place. Ever since I was young, my main ambition was to have a healthy family that was happy. And the truth is that you're not going to get that by playing video games. I mean, was I going to become prepared to become a dad by basically sitting there and playing video games, and then when I have a kid, I'm going to raise the kid by playing video? It just doesn't make any sense. And I think now that I've realized that, it just shows that you need to be present and you need to be aware of your time. See, think of life as a road, right? And you're trying to get to a destination. Now, obviously, you can't really pick the destination, as in, you can't just teleport there. You need to pick the direction that you're going to go to get to your destination. And the earlier you do it, if you look at it like this, right? The earlier you do the direction change, let's say you do whatever this is, 5 degrees or something, the further off track you're going to go. As opposed to if you start deviating when you're already kind of close, you're going to hit somewhere close to it, right? So the position is as soon as you can, start going in the direction that you want to go, because the earlier you deviate from your passion, the further you'll be from what you want to achieve. So just, as soon as you come to the realization of what you really want to achieve, and that might be an issue for some of you as well. Personally, I actually didn't know what I really wanted to achieve financially, so I never really had any financial goals. But once you've got your financial goal, don't be a dickhead. Don't just sit there and just contemplate it all the time. Look, opinions never changed the world. It was action that changed the world. Now, obviously, opinions lead to action. Now, just, this is an example of why action matters more than opinion. Imagine instead of us actually building physical houses to live in, we would just sit around and talk about how much we needed houses. Or for example, we didn't even talk about it. We just spent all day thinking about how important it would be to have a house. Why do we do this? Why do we sit and just think and contemplate and procrastinate by thinking about the things you feel like you're not procrastinating? It's mental gymnastics. Instead of just simply going out there and doing something about it. There's so many different ideas. Honestly, I think when people say that they just don't know what business idea to follow, I think you just need to pick up 1 or 2 books and an idea will come to your head. There's so many ideas. In all honesty, I couldn't imagine a scenario where you're sort of thinking there are no options for business ideas. In all honesty, you should probably be paralyzed by having too many options, because it's just, I mean, it's crazy. Make a YouTube channel, you know? Like, start flipping stuff on Facebook Marketplace if you're really struck for ideas and you need just something to get yourself, like, off your feet with a little bit of money straight away. There's so many different ideas to start off with, you know, like, become a freelancer in some sort of industry like video editing, photography. There's so much you could possibly do. I mean, I'm just going to list basically what I'm interested in, but there's so many other things. And the proposition is that probably you as a viewer already knew what you could have done, but you just haven't done it. Like, chances are you actually have a pretty decent idea of what you could do, but you've just been thinking about how to execute it, how to get the perfect plan. Look, here's a good analogy here. No matter what you create now, no matter how much time you're going to spend on it right now, let's say you spent an entire month trying to develop the perfect product. In a year's time, you would have probably developed so much as a human being that you would look back at it and think it's shit anyway. So why procrastinate so much? Why spend so much time into it? Why not just get loads of experience? You know, why not just get out there, spam as much as you possibly can, test the waters, understand what works, what doesn't. Because, I mean, your brain's going to only be so good at trying to understand what works and what doesn't. I mean, maybe theoretically what's up here works, but in reality it's not going to. So I can't stress this enough. If you want to get something done, just do it. It's really crazy. You know, how much time people have wasted in their lives. All around you, probably all around me. Just members that I know in my life that have obviously wanted to achieve things. But, you know, they just say, like, right now is not the right time, or, you know, I started and then I stopped because I didn't have the resources or whatever. 9 times out of 10, by the way, that's BS, and we know it. So if you start telling people that, like, dude, most of the time we know it's BS. You just gave up. Also, cut the noise. There's people out there who are going to tell you that it's a bad time to start doing something, and do you know what the truth is? Those people have been talking 24/7 on repeat about how bad it is to start a business, to start a venture at this current moment. I mean, some of the best companies in the world basically blew up right before the biggest tragedies, and they still survived. And I mean, that's not necessarily to say that, you know, there are exceptions or something like that, which of course they are. But the fact is that if they were able to come out of a massive scenario, for example, Apple, when the iPhone came out, shortly afterwards we're having like the 2008 crash, right? When Amazon blew up as well, 2008, massive like economic shortages. It's not necessarily that you need to follow in the footprint of those companies, but what I'm saying is that these companies went from being very relatively small or whatever to being massive in times when people said it was the worst time to make a business, and that's when they did the best. The point is, cut the noise. Stop worrying about factors you can't control, and just try your best and do it now. There's another good Jim Rohn quote I remember, and we'll end the video on this one. So life is like a boat on a river, and you can set your sail to go in a certain direction. Now, if you don't set your sail, you might start drifting and the tides will take you in a random direction. There's not many shores that we want to land on. You just want to land on one. So why not just set your sail to go to that one shore that you want to go to? Alright, in a bit, guys.